Hey everyone, welcome to a special bonus episode of Locked On Lakers for a Saturday. Brian Kamenetsky, Andy Kamenetsky. The Lakers take care of business on Friday night and now get precious rest, Andy. We'll break it all down next.
You are Locked On Lakers, your daily Los Angeles Lakers podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Thanks to everybody for making Locked On Lakers first listen of every day, Monday through Friday, no matter how or where you get your podcasts. Oh, by the way, sometimes on Saturdays. No matter how or where you get your podcasts, this one's always free, never behind a paywall, because good Lord, you wouldn't put a paywall in front of a podcast for the third seed in the Western Conference. Nobody would do that. Locked On Lakers on YouTube, so we can go hang out with over 34,000 very happy subscribers to the channel, all of whom are very pleased with what the Lakers did. They had a simple mission against the Rockets, Andy, on Friday night: win, get rest on Sunday, and just get rest through the week and figure out who you're going to play. That was it, and they did it.
Yep. They are officially now locked into 3 seed. They are going to have at least one round of home court advantage in the playoffs, and I think it is safe to say things are looking pretty good right now for this team. Another really good night for Luka Doncic. He led the way with 39 points in just 31 minutes. Honestly, could have had a 40-piece easily had he been better at the free throw line, which Luka very clearly was aware of and very clearly unhappy with himself down the stretch while at the line. I think recognizing, like, dude, come on, what's wrong with you? But just another fantastic showing from him. Really good balance from, I mean, to whatever degree you want to analyze a game where the Lakers played against these zombie Rockets who were already locked into their 2 seed. They sat basically everybody that matters.
Jalen Green played 15 minutes. That was the only starter who played.
Because he has a consecutive game streak going and he wants to keep it alive. And by the way, good for him, man. That's really cool. He's forget trying to catch AC Green. He's got to try to catch Mikal Bridges, who's I think at around 500 or so. But
nobody's catching AC Green.
No, but it's awesome to see a young guy like Jalen Green taking pride in something like that. But the Lakers still, there were a couple maybe 3 or 4 minute pockets of the game where I think they were having difficulty maintaining the urgency of a game where I think everybody, if they were being honest with themselves, could acknowledge there was no flipping urgency whatsoever. But for the most part, they took care of business. I mean, they won by 31 points, and the game was never, other than maybe the first 8 minutes of the first quarter, this game was never even remotely in question.
Yeah, I think everybody knew what was going on here, including the Rockets. And it was one of these things like, I'm sure around the conference are people upset with I don't know. And Houston, Ime Udoka made it very clear he doesn't care. His responsibility is not to other teams, it's to his own. And the Rockets earned the ability to make sure their guys are as healthy as can be down the stretch. And that's what they chose to do. The Lakers, you get back home after a long and emotional road trip. That first game back is always a little tricky. You're playing a bunch of guys that you've never really seen play together. It's like you get off to kind of a slow start, but they very clearly knew they could gain control of the game. And once they had it, they were very clearly not going to give it up. And Houston knew that too. And so, and I don't think they cared, to be perfectly honest.
No, I mean, it's interesting. Side note, we don't have to go deep into this because it's not our team, and for the time being, not our business until the Lakers potentially play Houston. Were I Ime Udoka, I would actually want these guys to play more, or at least play a half, just because they are so collectively inexperienced for the playoffs, and they're going to be getting a long break anyway.
Yeah.
I would want to be keeping them more in rhythm, more dialed in. Granted, Ime Udoka is a very intense taskmaster, so he might just feel like, I got it under control.
Yeah, and I also think too, like they're almost surely going to sit people on Sunday, no matter what they do in this one, because you really don't want to
Of course.
Risk
But that's
something
why I
there.
would go one more game.
Right. And I could see your point, except if you're going to get out of rhythm because you have a week off, you're probably going to get out of rhythm. I don't think a half's going to save you. So I can understand both sides of the argument. Houston obviously decided to favor rest and making sure their guys are whole. The Lakers are the beneficiary of that, which, it's a nice little shift. The Lakers have had some scheduling challenges over the course of the last 6 to 8 weeks. So getting one of these is well earned. The only time it looked like there might be any sort of hiccup was in the second half when LeBron exited the game. Looked like he sort of tweaked his groin again. Briefly, kind of, he sat down on the bench. He didn't look happy, sort of tried to stretch it out, however. By, I don't know, 5 minutes later, 10 minutes later, he was feeling pretty good. He was, by the end of the game, he was participating in sideline celebrations, literally moonwalking at one point. So
yeah, he's jumping up and down when Austin Reaves checked out of the game for good. I think they were acknowledging we got the 3 seed, we did it, all of that. Like, unless LeBron has decided he can play professional basketball without a groin, I'm guessing it's been concluded he's fine.
Right. JJ after the game said he's fine. If he's not fine, he's going to get probably 9 days of rest. The Lakers obviously will sit everyone. Like they might just play Bronny and Jemison like on Sunday. That's the team. And Len, Alex Len. So
well, let's not get crazy.
Nobody. We'll see. Maybe if one of those two guys gets in foul trouble.
I mean, let's not go nuts. I don't know if Len's playing.
Do you know if Alex? Do you know if he's been showing up? Like,
no, I saw him. I saw him actually come. I saw him come out of the tunnel. He was there
because he could miss games, and I don't know if anybody would.
No,
notice.
You want that game check. You want.
No, I'm saying, but check. Like just.
You're not going to get the game check unless you're there. If you're on the active roster, you got to be there to get your check.
No, I agree. I'm just saying I want. My point is, I'm not sure anybody would notice.
Well, clearly you didn't. You asked.
It was just overall. It was a very strong. I mean, I'm looking at the bench that closely. It was just overall a very strong night for the Lakers to accomplish exactly what they needed to. That 3rd seed is a really remarkable accomplishment, especially when considering where they've been, for the first say 6 weeks, 8 weeks of the season, and then the rally caps get put on. You have this trade. There's just tremendous upheaval, and now they are playing as well as any team. Our friend Matt Moore at HB Basketball tweeted this out because it is still very much
co-host of Locked On Nuggets, by the way, too.
That's true. We will. We know the Lakers are the 3 seed. They will play the 6 seed. Who the 6 seed is yet to be determined. Denver is playing presumably the Zombie Rockets on Sunday. You would expect them to win. Minnesota is playing the Jazz. You would also expect them to win. The big game on Sunday is Golden State versus the Clippers. If let's assume Denver beats Houston and Minnesota beat the Jazz. If the Warriors win, the Clippers the 7th. If the Clippers beat the Warriors, it would be the Clippers in 5, Denver in 4, and the Lakers would play Minnesota. So barring something weird, the most likely teams that they would play would be Golden State or Minnesota. Things change if Minnesota loses or Denver, craps away a game against the Rockets. But let's presume that's not going to happen. Interesting first-round matchups, to say the least. So they'll have plenty of time to scout, Andy. They're not going to play for the Lakers always open on Sunday. Assuming the NBA sticks with tradition, the Lakers won't play again until, or Lakers starters won't play again until presumably a week from Sunday.
Yeah, so they're going to have a lot of time. We obviously, too, will get more into this on Sunday and beyond, but we will be doing a lot of previewing of the Lakers' first-round opponent, whether folks from Locked On Clippers, Locked On Warriors, Locked On Wolves, other people we know who cover those teams from different outlets around the league. We're looking to really give you guys some blanket coverage, stuff like that. But first of all, it is such a relief to know that we are not going to have to deal with the play in Michigas, the nonsense. Like, none of this is any of the Lakers' business. As much as I love the play-in, and I think the play-in's really fun. And
It's fantastic.
It makes things interesting. I don't want the Lakers involved with it. I just want to watch other teams play in it.
Yes.
So it truly is awesome to know that they're not going to have to deal with any of it. One other really fun moment in the night, early, I think it was in the first quarter, a ball got tipped out of bounds, and a courtside Bruce Springsteen, the boss, somewhere I think in his 70s, caught the ball, like flipped it over to an official or whatever, and the replay was on the Jumbotron, and Rui was watching it, and all of a sudden it dawned on him, holy bleep, that's Bruce Springsteen. And Rui was literally like jaw dropped.
Yep.
Which was hilarious. I tweeted this out at Cam Brothers on Twitter or Blue Sky as well. If you guys want to see the clip, it is so funny. It's really, really hilarious.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest with you. I get it. Like these guys, NBA stars meet a lot of people. I mean, Rui is not LeBron. He's not Luka. He can't open every single. But like these guys have met a lot of people. I mean, they've met a lot of celebrities. They know some folks. It always is kind of fun when you see them kind of get starstruck. And I'll be honest, I'm not even that big a Springsteen fan. And if I ever saw Bruce Springsteen or met him even, I would probably freak out because it's Bruce Springsteen.
We've talked about this before. Like Kobe was quite literally a global icon. Yes. I mean, like Kobe was, for his era and certainly everlasting now, like one of the biggest stars, like one of the biggest star athletes who had a crossover appeal, like truly a global icon. When, his passing became a worldwide, recognition and mourning. But when Kobe won the Oscar and he was at the Academy Awards and afterwards, you could see Kobe was overwhelmed by this particular surrounding. And it's not like Kobe playing for the Lakers for 20 years didn't meet his share of actors and musicians and celebrities, but being in that setting even was kind of overwhelming for Kobe.
I mean, side note, I know we've told this story before. Our favorite story ever is when Kobe used to talk about one of our favorite stories, how Kobe used to talk about, because he was genuinely intellectually curious, all these other businesses, side things, interests and stuff. He wanted to learn from people who he knew more than he did. And so he would talk about how he would cold call, all these experts in the field.
Spielberg, Oprah, John Williams.
Yeah, like all these guys, tech executives, business executives, all this stuff. And he would use that expression, cold calling, like nobody's going to, like, they're not going to take Kobe. Like when you and I.
Like he's Jack Lemmon's character in Glengarry Glen Ross,
right?
Working the phones.
Right. No. If you and I call Steven Spielberg.
That's cold calling.
That's cold calling. When Kobe calls him, that's an unexpected call, but it's not cold calling.
One last, actually very funny story with that before we let everybody go until Sunday. There was a documentary that came out maybe 12 years ago called Jiro Dreams of Sushi.
Oh, yeah.
And it's about this man, Jiro, who was considered the greatest sushi maker ever. And like the world, like leading expert, Japan's greatest sushi maker. And it was about his legacy and his sons looking to take over his sushi restaurant and the pressure on them. And it was also about process. And, Kobe was, as anybody knows, really into process. And Brian and I interviewed the director of that documentary, and he told us this story about how he gets this call from his assistant, and the assistant tells him Kobe Bryant's on the phone. And he's like, yeah, okay, whatever. Like, what are you calling? He's like, no, really, Kobe is on the phone. And Kobe reached out to this director because he wanted to learn more about Jiro. And like, was there anything else about his process that didn't make the movie or whatever? Like, that's a great example of cold calling, even just the guy who was adjacent to the expert. Like it was really was something that Kobe did regularly that impressed Brian and I a lot.
So, all right, we will obviously have much more clarity on Sunday in the afternoon. We will do a show, obviously our regular show for Monday following the Lakers Blazers. Expect to see a lot of Bronny. Jemison. Pick your favorite reserves. If you see them frequently in the rotation, you probably won't see them much on Sunday. But before we go, Andy, we really, it would be a mistake if we didn't tell people about this.
It would be a mistake and also whoa. It would be a mistake
Speaking
and a
of
reprimand.
mistakes.
The button's done gone crazy. Locked On would be a mistake to let you know that not to let you know that Locked On Lakers is brought to you by Game Time. There's nothing like watching basketball or a post-game podcast live. The energy of the crowd, the sound of sneakers on the hardwood, the messing up of the buttons, seeing Bruce Springsteen sitting courtside. If you want to catch a game in person, Game Time makes getting tickets easier than ever. Game Time's new feature, Game Time Picks, filters out the fluff and shows the best deals on the great seats, so you don't end up wasting time scrolling through thousands of tickets. Game Time Picks even highlights super deals, giving you the best bang for your buck. And with seat views before you buy, no surprise fee, a lowest price guarantee, you can book with total confidence. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets or pressing buttons with Game Time Picks. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use the code LOCKEDONNBA for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account, redeem the code LOCKEDONNBA for $20 off. Download Game Time today. What time is it? Game time.
Locked On Lakers, bleeding confidence there for a moment, but you did regain control of the plane, which I respect. Locked On Lakers is also brought to you by DoorDash. NBA fans, get ready. They swoosh, you save, thanks to Dash Pass. Every time a player drops 50 or more points in a game, you score a huge deal the next day. We call that a Corey Brewer. It's simple. When any player scores 50 points or more in a game during the 24-25 NBA regular season, Dash Pass members get 50% off an order, up to $10 off the next day from noon to midnight. Here are a few ways you could take advantage of that deal. What if you want like a feast, like a game day feast? After this epic 50-point performance, you celebrate by ordering wings, pizza, burgers, whatever it is from your favorite spot delivered to your favorite door, presumably the front one. You can get lunch on the go. You can fuel a watch party the next time you have people over, maybe to watch the Lakers in the playoffs. So sign up for Dash Pass and be ready to save. When any player scores 50 or more in a game, Dash Pass members get 50% off an order the next day, up to $10 off. Use the promo code NBA50 from noon to midnight after a 50-point game on eligible orders at participating merchants. Must have an active Dash Pass account. Terms apply. Visit DoorDash to learn more. All right, we will see everyone Sunday evening on YouTube and, whenever we put the audio up, maybe Sunday evening or Monday morning. Have a great weekend, everyone.